We've just looked at what are chemical changes compared to physical changes. And now we're going to look at how do you tell if a chemical change has actually happened. So let's remember that chemical changes, these are a reaction where new chemicals are made. New chemicals are formed. Whereas physical changes, even though we might change the look of something, it's still made of the same chemical in the end. And there's a few observations that we can make as scientists to use as clues to see if a chemical change has happened. So we're looking for clues. They're not perfect, but if at least one or two of these things happens, we can be pretty sure that a chemical change has happened. So the first clue we can look for is light produced? Here we've got some glow sticks. So when you snap a glow stick, there's two different chemicals and they suddenly mix together once you break apart the chemicals. And this causes a chemical reaction and light gets made at the end of it. So if light is produced, we can be pretty sure that there's a chemical reaction that's happening. Is there a reaction? Definitely. The next clue we can look for is heat produced or is heat taken away? So we can measure the temperature, and if it changes, then we can be pretty sure again that there's a chemical reaction happening. So here, when something's burning and on fire, that's definitely a chemical reaction. Because there's heat produced and there's light produced. And at the end, you get some charcoal, which is different to the wood or the material you started with when you were burning it. Next, if you've ever used one of these instant cold packs, maybe you were injured at sport. Well, when you break these, similar to a glow stick, we have two different chemicals that mix together, but instead of becoming hot, they actually absorb heat. So they reduce the temperature and become cold, which is useful for stopping the swelling when you get injured. So here, definitely there's a chemical reaction happening. And let's fix up this typo. Okay, a few more clues we can use. Is there gas produced? So when we're looking to see if gas is produced, we're looking for bubbling or fizzing as well. So not all fizzing means there's a chemical reaction, because when you take the lid off a soft drink bottle, that's not a chemical change. But when you put a Mentos into a bottle, there's a chemical change there. So you might have done this experiment before. So there's a chemical change there. Another clue that's not perfect, but if it happens with some of these other ones, is a color change. So a really common one is when we're cooking food. We looked at this earlier when we saw eggs cooking, but pretty much every time we cook food and it changes colour, that means the chemicals have changed into something new. So on the barbecue, meat turns from a red or a pinky colour and it goes brown, and then it gets a little bit of burn on it as well. And the sausages, they turn from a yellowy orange colour and they turn red as well. So there's a chemical reaction happening there. The last one is, you might not have heard of this one, is there a precipitate formed? And precipitate does have an E at the end. Okay, so precipitates are when you mix some chemicals together and a new solid gets made. So we can see here that there's a new material that's yellow and that's been made, and precipitates, they don't dissolve and they don't go away. So a new solid is made that doesn't dissolve and it doesn't go away. So these are 5 clues we can use to see whether a chemical change has happened or not.